Here we are at Talladega. I'm going to take the intermediate run-in that links up with the expert run-in right at the other side of this little valley. First bit is just a bunch of tables, one after another, running downhill. Here we are at the top of the Talladega run-in, and that's the second little table that drops you into this medium one. And this one here, I just pasted off. It's about 15 feet from that takeoff to this knuckle. Medium size, not too difficult necessarily, but these tables are just going down and down and down. So by the time you land this one clean, it's pushing you really hard into the next little step down, which then pushes you really hard into the last table before bumping you up the hill. So this is a section that is really easy to roll first time. You just got to be careful, take it slow, because it's really easy to get going way faster than you want to and end up getting bucked down there toward the bottom. This drop here is about a 4 foot to flat. It's just not fun, so I roll around it. And this next table and step down are one of my favorites. And here we have one of my favorite jumps on this line. Really smooth table. And it's only about 12 feet to clear it. So it's not really that long, but it's got a really nice takeoff. The lander is just the right angle, and it sets you up well to take the quick left-hand berm into the next section that flows down through there. Really love this step down. It's after a tight berm, and you do have to rail that berm to get the speed you want for this step. It's got a nice flat takeoff. The only thing that makes this a little tricky is it is 21 feet from the edge of that lip to right about where my seat is on that lander. So on camera, when you're doing the POV, it goes by so fast it looks like nothing, but it is definitely a thing. We got a couple riders coming, see what this looks like. And now we're at the upper berm section. This berm here, that lip is above my head, and as you can see, we swing around, berm, and the top of this one is below my feet. So hopefully that'll give you a little sense of how quickly we're losing elevation through these berms. These things don't look steep, but they're all on a constant downgrade. So if you look down the trail, you can see it's almost like you're riding down a mountain, but having to go back and forth. So I really have to get on my brakes to stay slow through there. And here we are at the two decent sized tables right before the big berm. That first one's pretty mellow, not much of a lip on the front or the back, but I did want to take a good look at this one. Pretty deceptive on camera. It's 25 feet from takeoff to the sweet spot on the landing, and it does feel really natural in terms of the lift it gives you, but when you see it go by on camera, it looks so small. but in fact, it is, by my measurements, the second largest jump on this trail. And this berm is so fast, but you need it for this table. And here we are at the last big table after that huge berm. Another one that's a lot of fun to hit, although it is the biggest one on this line, so it's about 27 feet. To clear that, try and give a good sense of just the size of this thing, as it is tall and long. So when you hit this and you clean it, you definitely feel like you've done something. A lot of fun though. You just need a whole bunch of speed. And now we're about to get into the lower berm section. But first there's this nice little step down. And here we have the last jump before the lower set of berms. And this one's kind of a sneaky one. It took me a long time before I committed to it. Probably just because of the way it looks when you're rolling into it. It is about a 15-foot gap from takeoff to the, the smooth side of this lander. And it loses about 4.5 feet elevation-wise. But when you roll up to it, it just kind of looks like it's sending you into nowhere. But I have to say, the first time I finally hit this one, I was shocked at how easy it is, because it's a perfect takeoff, perfect lander. If this is in your next up distance, I would definitely encourage you to try this. Very safe too, with that soft knuckle. If you can come up a little short, it won't buck you the way some jumps will. These berms are a little tighter and steeper than the ones up top. And here are the first few berms in the lower berm section. I want to take this shot to kind of show just how steep this is. Nice, we had a rider come by. That beginning up here, which is the first berm into that little bit of a rock, is probably 20 feet above my head standing here. And then you lose, 10, 15 feet, another 10, 15 feet. And then they just keep going. This is definitely one of those areas that you look at in the POV and you think it's just a handful of berms, but the momentum that this generates for you is really hard to describe because of the pitch of these things. So another good opportunity to make sure your brakes are working and you're comfortable with them. But a lot of fun. These just takes some getting used to all that speed. And these berms are a little tighter and steeper than the ones up top. So again, a lot of brakes through here if you want to take it easy like I'm doing today. So fast. Whew. Man, it is windy today. And now we're headed down to the last section.
get a lot of speed through there. And then there's a really tight check berm here. But you have to crank out of it to clear this gap. And that's a little spline. This step down is another area that just really difficult to get a grip on from the POV. You see those guys are just rolling it. If you want to hit those next two tables, you really have to come off the top of that thing and land somewhere down in here so that you get the momentum necessary to clear those next two tables. But this is just really so far up there. When you roll this, come up on it the first time, it'll definitely surprise you when you look down it. Nothing rough or difficult to manage. You just want to make sure that you're not coming in too hot. So you get around that berm, which is a really fast berm, and it throws you off this ledge and you're not ready for it. I've seen some serious stuff here. So be safe, take it easy, and enjoy. Really fun feature though if you get the speed to clear these next two. Ooh. And that is the end of the traditional Talladega line. All this coming up is new trail the last 6 weeks that they had to cut in due to some storm damage on the main line that they used to have.